Thank you for the invitation to speak today. My name is Philipp. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chronext. But while Marco introduced me as a disruptor, I would like to say we are not disruptors. I think a lot of people on the stage say we disrupt. Luxury is different. And luxury is different, why? Because you need to evolve with the industry together. And what I mean by this is you need to change the industry from within with the incumbents, not against them, and to drive change with the luxury watch brands and groups together. So, what is Chronext actually? Chronext, as we like to put it, is the premier luxury watch destination, and as a result, the most advanced way to buy, sell, and service luxury watches. What that specifically means is that we're a full-service platform that takes care of all the aspects of the transaction. It feels like an e-commerce with the benefits of a marketplace in the background. So what that actually means on the diagram here, this is roughly 80% of the business. Basically, retailers and brands, more and more so directly, sell their watches through us. We take care of the logistics, payment, authentication, and all aspects of the transaction. So basically, a retailer or a brand lists the item online with us, the customer buys and pays us, we pick up the item from the retailer or the brand, it is authenticated, every item, no matter if it's from the brand or the retailer, is authenticated, it is gift wrapped, and then shipped to the consumer. If the consumer doesn't return the item in 14 days, the retailer or brand gets their money minus their commission. So this is roughly 80% of the business. In some aspects, it is very similar to the Farfetch business model, the only difference being that we actually take all products into our hands and authenticate all of them, check them on the ground with our own experts. Roughly 20% of the business is where consumers, such as yourselves, can sell a watch online with us. It's pretty simple. You fill out a form online, you'll get two prices. One is a direct purchase price, one is a consignment price. To give you a specific example, let's look at a Patek Philippe 5711. You will get a direct purchase price of, let's say, 20,000 euros or a consignment price of 33,000 euros. So the customer always fully transparently sees the whole spread. Yeah? You can get maximum liquidity if you need it urgently or if you're just tired of the watch, or you can consign the item minus 19.5% commission, but you only get the money once it's sold. So, what makes us unique? First of all, Chronext checks and guarantees the authenticity of every item that is sold for us. Doesn't matter whether you're a brand, doesn't matter whether you're a consumer or a retailer, every item is checked by our own watchmakers in-house. Secondly, we have 26,000 directly available watches. All of these products are vetted. We know the retailers or the consumers. If it's a consumer, the watch is already in store with us. We know that the products are authentic, and we have due diligence for all these sellers. All products are 100% directly available. And lastly, we own the whole customer experience. So from pre-sale service, emails, live chat, etc., telephone, all of the consumer experience is done by us. We own the full customer experience, and 30,000 successful transactions to date show that the business model scales and works very efficiently. Now, the interesting aspect here is, how much do we know about our consumers? If you look at the retail industry, like Marco said, the new luxury watch market is roughly 80 billion euros in size. The pre-owned watch market is around 20 billion in size. But most of these retailers don't really own the customer experience. They don't really know anything about their customers. So to give you an example of our UK customers, 17% of our UK customers are 30 or 39, as we call them internally, David or Caroline. Yeah, so kind of to visualize this, 36% of them buy for achievement or status. And then you see the different baskets. So up to 36% spend up to 10,000 euros or more. Yeah, 49% of them don't own a luxury watch, 11% own 3 watches, and interestingly, only 26% don't own a watch at all. So it shows, yes, they are the first-time buyers, but they are also the people that have been traditionally the offline retail buyers and that are coming more and more to our platform. And these people, such as yourselves, are CEOs, founders, and people in leading positions in businesses. Now, the interesting part about the watch industry is, if you look at the 4 top public entities that are related to this market, you have 240 billion in market cap, with 17 billion in EBITDA every year. And this is just the public guys. The watch industry, even more so than Apple, is notorious for being the most secret industry in the world. So a player like Rolex, which is one of the largest players in the industry, doesn't publish any numbers whatsoever. So this is clearly a huge industry. But if you think about it, it's only 2 to 6% online. And so clearly you have a huge opportunity to, and very clearly, not to disrupt this market, but to evolve it. Because you need to do it with the brands, and disruption always has the connotation that you go against the industry, that you attack the industry. But luxury is political, and that means that you need to take away the fears, and that you need to take a brand-friendly approach, how you capture the existing incumbents to digitalize their 100 billion plus annual retail channel. So, what makes us the brand-friendliest guys in the online world? First of all, such as I said, all products are authenticated. But not only that, we actually invest a lot of time and dedication in creating an authentication center and a service workshop that is certified by the brands, that has the experience so we can service our customers. So we have the full service where we essentially have everything to reactivate customers for services, etc. But most importantly, this is a commitment to every watch brand in the world. We're investing in your brand. Not only are we e-commerce guys, we are watch collectors ourselves. And most importantly, we believe in what you're doing, and we want to invest in creating a long-lasting value proposition for your brand. Secondly, we control the whole experience, I said that. But to make it in more placative terms, every live chat, every telephone call, every email done by our guys, packaging done by our guys, every watch gets a Chronext certificate for authentication. Looks a bit like the Black American Express in the left frame. You can pick up the watches in our pickup boutiques or our pickup lounges, such as Cologne, Zurich, Munich, and in London, which I'll get back to later. And even the logistics processes are specifically tailored to high-value luxury products. We ensure that there's no fraud in logistics. There's nothing that you need to take care of yourself. It's as simple as going to the grocery store and buying an apple, even easier, yeah? So, what is the future for the watch brands? And what do we need to do to help them take away fears and digitalize this retail channel? First of all, brands need to get away from this notion that there's the online world and the offline world. That doesn't work. You basically need to take a holistic approach to online and offline, and brands need to allow their retailers, the ones that they own themselves, the retailers that are independent, even the large chains such as Aurum Group in the UK, interact directly with an e-commerce player, an independent marketplace that distributes volumes globally. Our mission is not to say there's inventory here, there's inventory there. We want to be the global manager of all inventory in the watch world, regardless who it is from. Secondly, we believe to drive customer purchasing online, and there's a lot of that going on already, but to help the industry endorse us further, you need to create content that is authentic. Brands need to get away from the cosmeticized content stories of the past, where they pretty much copy-paste what they have in their own sales catalogs and say, this is what you have to know about my brand. That's not the case. You need to create authentic content, much like Amazon has done in other consumer verticals, which is not negative towards the brands, but which is not always purely positive either, to help brands really get credibility and attract a consumer that may not consider this brand interesting. And lastly, mobile is super critical. You can have the illusion that the basket is huge. I'll get to that a bit later. And mobile is not relevant. That's not the case. The most expensive watch that we have sold on an iOS phone was 205,000 Swiss francs. That is somebody who literally checked out the watch online. So online and mobile is critical, and that needs to further be driven in the luxury watch world. So, the clicker doesn't work. So what do you need to know about us? First of all, Chronext has been growing incredibly fast. 223% growth over the past 3 years. So clearly, this is a market that is digitalizing extremely quickly, but most importantly, we are driving a lot of this digitalization ourselves. Secondly, you wouldn't think so, but with a 7K plus average basket, we have a 20% average annualized repeat buyer rate. And the interesting aspect is we don't optimize our business for repeat buyers. We optimize our business for the fact that the first time somebody buys, after logistics, after payment, after authentication, after all transactional aspects, including logistics, the transaction is profitable. And still, we have 20% annualized repeat buyer rate. And lastly, to give you a taste for the segment that we're truly in, we have a 7.2K average retail equivalent basket. So you're really in the space of the high baskets. And this is interesting because not only the basket is huge, but the margins in this industry are huge. So if you don't attack the industry, but you do it together with the incumbents, there's a big chance that Chronext will become a big monetizer of this huge basket. Lastly, What is the road ahead for us for the next 5 years? First of all, we will further strengthen our positions with the independent watch brands and the independent and the large watch groups, and ensure that we are their go-to partner globally to manage inventory and to drive digitalization. Secondly, we will broaden our customer experience through investing even more into content. Content is key. I know that everybody says it, but doing content right and doing content right are two different things. And lastly, we'll focus further on internationalizing to create the global number one. So before Marco hits me off the stage, I would like to show you our physical store in London, which we have on Fleet Street. This is our new flagship boutique. You can see that our approach to design and customer experience is fundamentally different. It's very close, so just a stone throw away. And because you listened so carefully, and I would like to thank you very much, there's a 150 euros voucher code for all purchases up until Christmas. Thank you very much.